Welcome back, guys. So as you know, we had a pretty crazy March for real estate sales, not just here in Florida, but also countrywide. There's a lot of different stuff getting thrown around right now. I don't like to speak on nationwide sales, obviously, because I just focus on mostly Southwest Florida, but the state as a whole. So I'm going to take a look at Florida's stats for March. I'm going to look at a bunch of areas like Miami, Orlando, Tampa, see what kind of differences are going on there, obviously contrasted to Southwest Florida. Some of the numbers they're just kind of weird. They're not what I would expect, especially for the states. So I'll also take a look at townhomes and condos for the states, since I know you guys are all interested in that as well. Let's jump right in here. So kind of surprising numbers for the state of Florida here. The sales for March year over year were down 10.4%, paid in cash down 10%, but the average sales price still up 10.1%. And with that average sales price sitting at $615,000, guys, it's going to set a new record for the state of Florida. The previous record was 2022. It hit $602,000 was its highest point. It's now at $615,000. Median time to contract up slightly, just from 35 to 40 days. Not a huge jump. That's still a pretty quick market, and that is reflected down here in the month supply of inventory. Only 4.1, but a huge jump from last year when it was only 2.7, a 51% increase. So that's interesting. 40% more listings on the market now, sitting from 61,000, they went to 86,000. And again, guys, as I say that is huge jumps, and we've been seeing huge jumps year over year. But the asterisk is, like 2008, there was 240,000 single-family homes. So again, we're not really near that. State of Florida looks like, again, inventory's building, but it is holding up surprisingly well. Even with sales down, we're hitting new all-time highs for average sales price. And it looks like we're still firmly in a seller's market from a month supply of inventory standpoint. Let's jump to condos and townhomes, also down a considerable amount, down 16% year over year, paid in cash down 17%. That's going to kind of trail equally there. A median sales price slightly up 3.1%, average sales price up 1.5%. So Florida's got a lot of condo problems right now. It's very well known. I mean, there's articles all over the nation about the homeowners insurance crisis, the condo fee crisis, the new laws coming in, the new reserve requirements, but it does not seem to be really pushing sales price down yet at this point statewide. I mean, there's stuff in the New York Post. It's all over the nation. Newsweek, so interesting to see. They are taking a little bit longer to sell statewide, up 48%, going from 29 days to 43, but that is still very quick historically. New pending sales are down 12%. Inventory, as usual, big jump here, 77.9% year over year, going from 32,000 condos and townhomes to 57. Wow, and they have 6.6 months of inventory. Now, this is where, when we start hitting these points, as we've seen in other parts of Florida, this is when it starts really getting interesting. This is going from 3.4 up 94% to 6.6. Once we cross that 6%, 6 month, threshold, that's when we're really starting to see inventory pile up, buyers slow down. So it'll be interesting to see what the next couple of months bring for the condo market here. Fort Lauderdale, Miami, West Palm, MSA, sales down 12%, but they are on a rampage. It's Miami, guys. It's the Miami area. It's one of the top cities in the world. It's going to, 10.5% up on the median sales price, 22% increase on the average sales price. Now, if you guys saw the conversation I had with Ryan the other day about Siesta Key, you know why that's dragged up 22%. It just takes a couple of waterfront properties in the 2, 3, 4 million range to really skew the average sales price numbers. But even the median going up too, it's dragging some of that up. And people are going towards these higher end luxury properties. So they are taking, looks like only 33 days in that area unmoved to sell, to get a contract from the previous year. 0% change. We rarely see that these days. Getting about 95% of ask out there. Their pending sales are down slightly, 6.6%. Nothing major. Inventory, though, also out there starting to creep up. 35% increase in months of supply of inventory, going from 3.1 to 4.2 months in March of 2024. That might not seem a lot, but even in our areas in Southwest Florida, this is sort of how it started. It started about a year and a half ago with these little 30, 40% jumps, and then all of a sudden we're 100, double, triple our inventory. So I don't know if over there it's going to have the same kind of velocity, but we'll see. Their listings are up 26% year over year as well. 10,000 listings going to 841, Now we will get into the other major cities, guys, but let's jump over to Lee County. Let's contrast the other coast right now. As you guys saw from my Siesta Key walk, They actually increased their sales 3.3%, but saw a fall in median sales price of 4% and a fall in average sales price of 2.6% year over year. And this is where the inventory comes in. Cape Coral started out with these small inventory increases, month supply of inventory up 75.7%. It's really intensified here. So they were also only a 3.7 month supply of inventory last year, now at 6.5. That's actually down from what they had back in February and January. So we did take some houses off the market. You guys know the reason for that. Various things. We had a strong selling season, but a lot of people also had their listings expire. Their listings just basically get canceled. I am starting to see some of those come back on the market with slightly adjusted prices. So that might be why, the month's supply is down from what it's been. But also, 74% increase in their active single-family homes, going from 4,000 to 7,376. That is a massive jump. Heading just south to Naples, Immokalee, Marco Island, all of Collier County. Their sales down 4.6%. But again, median sales price up 1.7%. Average sales price up 18.2%. And again, that can be skewed, guys, very easily. So I like to keep an eye on the median a little more. They are getting 93% of asking price. That is one of the lower numbers I've seen. I think, like I said, Ryan was telling me the other day, Siesta Key area was like 92%. So this is actually really the only one that's close to that. Most of it's 95% across Southwest Florida. That's interesting to see. Their month supply of inventory going from 4.9 to 7.9, a 61% increase. That is not that drastic for Naples, guys. I will tell you, back in 2019, that's about what it is. I would say months of inventory at Naples area is kind of pre-pandemic right now. It's not as drastic as it looks. 52% increase in their active single-family listings, going from 1992, great year, not when I was born, but great year, to 3,046. Northport, Sarasota, Bradenton, MSA. Again, you guys know I hate that they put this all in here like that because Northport shouldn't be in here. Maybe I'd argue Sarasota and Manatee should be split up, but they saw a pretty big chunk of their sales go down 8.2%. So kind of in line with the state as a whole, who had 10. They saw a slight drop in median sales price, 1.9%, but an increase on average overall at 6.1%, sitting at $725,000. And in Sarasota, median time to contract up 30%, but still getting things done pretty quick, 45 days. That's not a long time now, guys. 60 days to a contract is not a long time. I've even had to kind of get myself out of the mindset that we've been in. I have a house on the market for like three weeks, and I'm like, man, where's all the offers? But it's just it's normal to do this. So I've got to retrain my brain a little bit there to get back to the olden times, because that's kind of where we are in the market right now. Their inventory is up slightly. Their month supply of inventory up slightly, 56%, going from 3 months to 4.7. So just on the cusp of a balanced market there. Again, these two areas, it's a very large piece of land. If we break them down into individual segments, it's not going to be as low on the month supply of inventory, but it's going to change every area. Total listings up 64% year over year for these two counties, and that's going to put them at 5,955 from the previous 3,617 the year before. Popping over to Orlando, you guys are going to see the theme here. Sales down, inventory up. It's kind of going on all over the place. So this is Orlando, Kissimmee, Sanford. Probably said that wrong. Kissimmee. Closed sales down 9.3%. Interesting. Starting to see basically the areas where the price is going up, the sales are down. With the area where the price is going down, the sales are up. So are people moving to, hey, I can get a better deal here. I can get a better deal here in Southwest Florida. I don't know. We'll see. Paid in cash down 10%. Not crazy. This area has seen 5.5% median sales price appreciation year over year, 10.8% on the average. So not really the crazy numbers you're seeing in the other areas. Average sales price sitting in this area around $554,000. They are actually getting 97% of their asking price. Still getting houses under contract quickly there, 33 days, which is going to really reflect in the months of inventory. They have practically none, guys. They have 2.8 months of inventory. That is almost nothing. And it's up 40%, but it's only up from 2 months. So this is still a very hot market. People are still getting, and even still to see 97% of ask. That's interesting. They're getting 97% of their asking price, because when our inventory was 2.8 months, people were getting 105% of asking price. Everyone was going over. So even though their supply is very restricted here, even with listings being up 34%, their supply is still very restrictive. Their sales are still down, and they are still not getting 100% of asking price on average. That is strange, because if you would have told me a 2.8 month supply of inventory in any market is getting less than asking price on everything, it's surprising me right now. So that's interesting. All right, hopping down to Charlotte County. As you guys know, closed sales up quite a bit, 6.5%. We had a rockin' March here. The board is saying that we did 494 closed sales for single-family homes. Kicking butt. That's one of the highest ones in years, if not the highest one in years. I think we went over 500 at one point in the peak. But median sales price falls 2.6%. Average sales price falls 0.6%. Our ask to list price ratio is 94%. We are taking 67 days in March now to get a contract here, up 168%. So this is quite substantially higher than what we're seeing anywhere really around the state. New pending sales down slightly. We've kept the pace of pending sales, but our total pending inventory is down 23% from last year. We had 969 houses under contract. Wow, last March, we had 744 now, which is still actually pretty high, because that's not what's going to close, guys. That is not even close to what I think is going to close in April. So a lot of these deals look like they're falling apart, or they're closing in addition, maybe in May. They were put under contract at the end of March. These may close in May, but that's a pretty strong pending month for March, I would think. But when you look at it from last year, it doesn't look great. Inventory up 105%. We went from 1,500 homes to 3,122. And why this drop? This is really staggering, because this is what we had last month. So we had an incredibly strong, I'm sorry, that's what we had in February. We had an incredibly strong March, and we just listed too many houses on top of that. We put 754 homes on the market here. That's your new listings, which is about what we did last year. It's not down that much. If you look, it's only down 1.3%, barely 10 less listings than we had put on the market in March of 2023. But the buyers are not here, which is odd, because our sales, our closed sales are up. So it's going to be interesting. It's like, where is everybody pulling back? It's the buyers that are pulling back, and we're still listing very aggressively. Month supply of inventory, 7.6%, probably going to be the highest number, guys, that we see in this analysis. For the board numbers to come out that high, guys, that is such an aggressive buyer's market. Again, it's worse in other areas. If you break stuff down like Punta Gorda Isles, we can get in double digits there. It was only 4 months last year, which that was the rise that I'm seeing in other areas. Like Miami's inventory was about 4 months. Is Miami's inventory going to be 7.6 months next year? I don't know, but that's up 90%. So that is going to be one of the biggest numbers I think we're going to see this season. And when I look at the board's numbers and they're that high, because they judge them differently than when the MLS does. This is 7.6 months of inventory, assuming we continue to sell the average amount of homes that we've sold here in the past 12 months. And I don't know. We're out of season now. We'll see. I do want to show you guys median sales price here in Charlotte County. Still pretty flat for the last 2 years. Slight declines, but pretty flat on the overall, actually. Average sales price following suit, same thing. Pretty flat. Had a little bump this year there, but mostly flatlined since the middle of 2022. And the only thing that's going to change that, guys, is this inventory buildup. This is massive. We're not pre-pandemic levels anymore. We're way past pre-pandemic levels here. We're not 2008 levels like some other areas, or 2009 levels, but we are way past 2019 levels of houses listed. It's now we do have a larger population than we did then. We've grown quite a bit in 5 years. They're going to absorb some of that, but that's where you're getting that 7.6 months of inventory. And I'm seeing that down in Fort Myers as well. Big inventory jumps in Fort Myers. Big months of inventory, months of supply up. And look here, we're almost at 8 months of single family home inventory when pre-pandemic we were at 4. That's massive. So when you look at the state as a whole, that's going back to pre-pandemic, they're pretty much leveled off where they were before 2020, but not here in Charlotte County, not here in Lee County, not in Fort Myers. Jumping to the Tampa, Clearwater, St. Petersburg MSA, they see in this data set the largest drop in closed sales this March, dropping 12%. Very strange up there because Tampa's on fire. Tampa has been on fire, and I think will continue to be hot, but to see sales drop 12% was interesting. That's bumping The average sales price up 9.2%, median sales price up 3.8%. Tampa only taken 30 days to get a contract on your house. Actually down from last year. It was taking 31 last year. So still hot, things still transacting there. Pending sales down ever so slightly at 7%. Inventory in Tampa almost up 50%, up 43%, but still going from 6,000 to 9,365 barely puts a dent in their month's supply of inventory. This market is just continuing to rip and roar. The month's supply of inventory is up 61% from 1.8 to 2.9. That is anemic, guys. It's almost nothing. So I don't see Tampa slowing down. I think what will happen, and we're seeing in the closed sales here, is people that were looking in Tampa and saying, man, this is still pretty competitive. Maybe I'm okay with going a little further south. Maybe I'm going to look at Orlando. Maybe I'm going to look at the other, maybe I'm going to start looking around at other places. I think that is possibly what is going to happen here and why sales are down in some of these areas. But just unrelenting in Tampa, unrelenting. I don't anticipate prices coming down there in the foreseeable future without some sort of catalyst. And Florida, on the whole, foreclosures, guys, up 11%, going from 143 to 159 closed sales, were foreclosures out of 23,000 in the state, and we had about 27 short sales. So that is my analysis. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like this video, give me a like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.